Hey everybody, I'm Frank Ryan.
Hey guys, I am Adam Pettingill.
And we can finally start this episode of Beachfront Banter now that Adam has made his way to the studio.
I had a phone calls to make. Ringing off the phone.
Always. And we have a special guest today. We always say we have a special guest, but
we do have a special guest.
You always special, but you love to intro.
I do love the intro.
He gets all fanboy. He gets all fanboy.
I do the booking for the guests, all right? So like he does internal, I do external, as we say. And so today we have Dave Green. And Dave is from Cape Water Tours, Cape Water Taxi. What do I always say Cape Water Taxi, but it's not. You've changed the name.
Yeah. So Adam, you're 100% right. It was
never been said
before. I love you saying that twice. That's great.
Never been said before.
We're gonna cut that and like gonna add that to all the other people who say that.
He's gonna make it his. He's gonna make it his
100%.
He's gonna make it his ringtone. Ringtone.
Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah. So yeah, we did start off as Cape Water Taxi, and that was our mission. I mean, that's what we had planned to do. We set out to do that job. But as we slowly started to realize that dock in Rehoboth was a kind of a pipe dream for the most part in the beginning, and that in order to keep the business sustainable and pay the bills, we had to do something else. So we started doing tours. And then we started finding ourselves kind of pigeonholed into a category on TripAdvisor, Yelp, and Google of transportation as opposed to tourism and eco tours and history. So
yeah,
oddly enough, I talked to Sam from Dogfish Head. I was like, I got a problem. And he's like, I can fix it. And he's like, just change the name. So we became Cape, and we didn't want to give up the water taxi thing because we were still running it. We ran the water taxi until almost to COVID, really.
Yeah.
Is when we finally had to cut it out for financial reasons.
And that was Lewes to Dewey?
We were going Lewes to Dewey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. When we started out, we ran Friday through Sunday. We had 2 round trips Friday night, 4 round trips on Saturday, and 2 on Sunday. So that left the rest of the entire week for us to find something to do or to get into trouble with this boat that we just bought. Didn't take me long, and we started off. We had an older senior center, one of the ones from Lewes called, and, hey, can you do an eco tour? And I'm like, sure, yeah.
Right.
So we did it, and it just kind of sprang from there.
Right.
And
but you let's go back a step.
Yeah.
Because I do this a lot. Actually,
Sorry.
Frank does this, and it's my bad. You have done a number of things.
Correct.
I mean, like I say, you're now, was you born in BB?
I was not born in BB.
Okay. All right. Just want to get that clarified.
Did you say, was you born in BB?
Yeah.
He did. You think he was, right?
Yeah.
My kids were. My wife was, but
Oh,
no,
really?
No.
Where were you born?
I was actually born in a little town not too dissimilar to Lewes called Summers Point in New Jersey.
Okay.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Actually, I drive through that to go to Margate.
Absolutely. Yeah. I used to surf in Margate and Ventnor.
No way.
Yeah, that's my stop.
And how did you get here? Oh, was it the wife?
Ooh, yeah.
It was the best answer.
I'll try to sum it up kind of quickly, but I went to school in South Florida. I was following in my dad's footsteps. I went to school to be an operating engineer.
Okay.
After I finished school, decided that's not what I wanted to do. So I took a winter off. I went to Colorado to be a ski bum for a year. I ended up opening 2 snowboard shops and a ski shop.
Oh.
And was there for close to 9 years. But in that time, I met my wife in Philadelphia. Another crazy story. I was running a crane for a bungee jump operation, and my wife got a job harnessing people, and I was running the crane, and that was 33 years ago. So, bungee jump
in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Where was it?
Right on Delaware Avenue at a little club called the Beach Club. Right over, we used to hang people out over the river.
Yeah.
And they would bungee jump. It was
nice.
It was fun.
Did you do it?
I was 26. It was a blast.
Did you try it? Did you bungee jump?
Yeah, I've actually jumped. I've probably jumped 5 or 6 times, which is not a lot in comparison to my wife, who's jumped hundreds of times.
Crazy.
But I was the guy in the crane, so
right.
I was kind of stuck in there for the most part. But my wife's jumped hundreds of times.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I met my wife in Philadelphia, and she came with me to Colorado for 3 or 4 seasons, I think, and then we started doing our summers here in in Lewes and Rehoboth, and I met Sam from Dogfish Head. Opening season, helped them get open, and we became great friends. And I just kept coming back every summer. Worked in Dogfish Head in the summer and did my ski and snowboard thing in the winter.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great life.
Proper snowbird.
Yeah, a proper snowbird.
Proper
Proper.
snowbird.
Yeah. I followed the snow, and still needed my beach and my water.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you mentioned Sam a few times.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned the Rehoboth dock area, which was on the canal,
Correct.
next to the museum.
Yes.
Which now has the Dolly sign.
That's it.
In that regards. But so how did the Cape Water Taxi, Cape Water Tours, how did it all start?
Yeah.
Because you've gone from being a ski instructor, bungee jumping, to boats.
Yeah, boats. Yeah. Well, there was restaurants and real estate.
Restaurants and real estate. You did say yes.
I was a builder, and I still do some development work, and I'm still a realtor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, almost 30 years. But again, not the whole Sam thing. I give him a lot of credit because he's got a lot of credit due for why this company exists and what it is today. A chance meeting on Halloween. It was 2011. Our kids are pretty close to the same age. My wife grew up with Sam's wife's family, the Drapers.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, one of her best
big family.
friends. Yeah,
big family.
Was Molly Draper, and we ran into Sam and Mariah. Their two kids. They were trick or treating. Sam's got a wagon with a cooler full of pumpkin ale. He's like, "Do you want to walk with us?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So we just got talking, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm still, doing a little building, some real estate, what was left of the market in 2011." And I was like, "I'm getting my captain's license. I've always wanted to do it. I grew up on the water in Atlantic City, Summers Point, and it's just something I always wanted to do." And he's like, "What a coincidence. I am on a board or a nonprofit that just formed called the LRCIA, the Lewes Rehoboth Canal Improvement Association. And we're studying the feasibility of a water taxi between Lewes and Rehoboth." And I'm okay, interesting. And he's like, "Would you have any interest in that?" I was like, "Maybe." I don't know. I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
So this is how crazy how fast everything went and how it all, kind of played out. The next day, Facebook Marketplace was not a thing back then.
Right.
It was Craigslist. Everybody went
Yeah.
to Craigslist. So I jumped on Craigslist, typed in water taxi, and one popped up in Mystic Island, New Jersey, place that I actually lived for a short period of time. Called the guy up, went up 2 days later, looked at it, made him an offer, and 3 days later I was dragging it home. Just like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Wow.
So
How big was that boat?
the Mumachog was our first boat, and it was 35 foot long, and I think it was 11 feet wide.
Okay.
It was originally built for 36 passengers, but as we've grown as a society in girth, we've had to take mandatory reductions from the Coast Guard. So it was certified for 26 passengers, 2 crew.
Okay.
So that came back, and then what? Because I mean, you can't just like bring a boat back and say, "Hey, I'm running a taxi." It's not, it can't be that easy, even in Sussex County.
No, not with your boating experience.
Yeah. I was working on a real estate transaction with Fisherman's Wharf down in Lewis.
Okay.
So I had a direct, and I know those guys pretty well, and I had a direct line to them, and I asked them, "Hey, can I get dock space there?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." I told them what I wanted to do.
Well, wait, but that's not so easy, right? Because like the dock space down on the canal is everybody's fighting for those spots,
especially a boat of that size.
Sure,
and also something that was conducive to safely be able to get people on and off of the boat. But it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
And I worked directly with the LRCIA, University of Delaware. And there were a couple other organizations involved, like Dogfish Head, Southern Delaware Tourism. And we started to devise a plan on how this water taxi would operate, what it would look like, how much we could potentially charge.
Yeah.
And at that time, the general consensus was that there would be a dock in Rehoboth by the winter of 2012. That was the understanding. That's what everybody was telling me.
Yeah.
No, not so much.
Not so much.
But anyway, in order to get this thing up and running, I owned the boat. I wanted to try to get it going in 2012. We decided just to run the Dewey. which we knew was a loss leader to some extent, but we knew that it would kind of garner some interest and hopefully get people behind the dock, because there was a lot of money needed to be raised for the dock. And it did. It really did. And we started running Memorial Day weekend, 2012, and I think we were full that whole weekend.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then after that, it was like we were just riding up and down that canal by ourselves. But
Yeah.
Saturday was good. Saturday was good. Friday night was good for taco toss. That was all.
Right.
That was
Taco
a
toss
good-
and
that was a good
Delaware
run.
and Dewey was
Everybody loved that. Yep.
always fun. Yeah, always fun. And so we went from doing the taxi from, say Lewes to how long was it? I can't remember. It was like an hour. Was that like an hour to get there? Or was it an hour?
Yeah, in that particular boat, the Mumachog, she was pretty fast
Mhm.
and didn't throw much of a wake, so we could actually make it down there in an hour or less. Which
Okay.
is
Nice.
pretty darn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Down the
good.
canal. And
Considering the amount of distance.
Yeah.
And we would get to Dewey, drop off, and then we were there for about 15 minutes to potentially pick up anybody that wanted
Right.
to go back to Lewis,
Yeah.
whether they be return customers or first, first time
Sure.
riders getting on for the day or whatever.
Did you have to breathalyze them or do anything like that?
Dewey, I wouldn't have any business. Really,
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. There were a few people over the years. I was like, get on. Let's go.
Yeah.
And so you've evolved from that in terms of, and now you do a plethora of tours and how many boats do you got? I mean, you're not just in, you have to tell us a bit more in terms of, like, I always know you from the Irish Eyes spot. From
Sure.
Fisherman's
Yeah,
Wharf.
from anglers. Yeah.
Yeah. But you also go out from the ferry,
Correct. Yeah.
from that location.
I mean, it's
And then- I mean, you've got like tours.
I think we're up in the mid 20s for different tour types. I mean, some of them are like one and dones
Sure.
type situations, like bringing Santa from that's become like
A tradition.
a tradition now.
A local
Yeah.
tradition of
Yeah.
people, like,
But
say this.
I think it's when they first approached me about it, I was like, they said, "Do you think it's a good idea?" I think it's a fantastic.
Yeah,
idea.
absolutely.
For sure.
This is Lewis, it's
Yeah.
a very maritime oriented community, and
Yeah.
like, what better way to bring Santa
Yeah.
but by boat?
Yeah.
By a water taxi. So, but yeah, so we have 3 boats. Our main hub is still the Anglers Road dock by Irish Eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do run. Actually, can't even really say that anymore. We're probably about 50-50 between Anglers and the ferry dock.
Okay.
We keep our 65-foot double-decker boat over there. That's the 120 passenger boat. That lives over there for the most part. And we'll bring one of the smaller boats over to do the lighthouse tours.
Okay.
And ultimate eco tours and trips like that where we need a smaller vessel.
And it's I mean, like I say, it's obviously grown. It's obviously doing well because you've gone from 1 boat to 3 boats. And what do you put that down? What do you put that down to? Like, why? I mean, I know why, but I want you to tell us why in terms of why is it so popular? Because it is very, very, very popular.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the popularity of the business has driven the need to expand.
Yeah.
I guess what's behind the popularity, we have incredible people that work with us. I mean, I have, Captain Maddie's been with me since she was 19 years old. She's now early 30s. I've got my daughter, several other captains that have come along the way. Captain Steve. I don't want to pigeonhole too many people.
No, you can tell us your favorites.
Glad your daughter was one of those. Otherwise, that would be troublesome.
That's one of the big aspects, right? We talk about. This is a big family business, right? This
really is.
Yeah. You were telling me just before, like, what? So your wife run this together, right?
Correct.
Right.
And we have a general manager, Kelly.
Yep. Your daughter's a captain.
Yep.
And then your son, right, is coming on. Is that?
Yeah, kind of in a part-time basis.
Okay.
He loves the water. He's an incredible boat handler. Knows nobody knows everything, but he knows a lot.
Yeah.
So he's next in line to get his captain's license.
Nice.
So hopefully we'll have him with a credential by next summer, and maybe he can start.
And getting those boats in and out of, like, we have some horrible stories, me and this guy here, about boating, but getting in and out of that Fisherman's Wharf where Irish Eyes, it's not easy.
It is not easy.
It's not easy. Like, it's not like you just take off and just go. I wish it was. Otherwise, we would do it. But anyway,
who would
so
do
it takes a lot. It does take a lot of skill.
It does. But it's something you do every day.
Sure.
It kind of you start to lack of a better word, muscle memory.
Yeah.
It is different almost every time because wind and current are never the same.
Yeah.
And you put a big moon up in the sky and then everything changes again.
Yeah.
And talking about that and a reason why it's gotten harder, I don't know if you've noticed it's gotten harder in the last few years to dock over there. But when they took the swing bridge out, that increased the volume of water coming through there. So our 2 or 3 knot current went to 4 or 5, sometimes 6, when we get a southwest wind and a big moon in the sky. So, yeah, it can be a handful.
My only story about the canal is that I take my inflatable paddleboard out and me and my buddy go. And I always like going one way, but coming back on that paddleboard against the current is brutal, like almost like it's never gonna end. Like I'm paddling but not actually getting anywhere. So I'm not sure that's the same in the same field, but I felt your pain myself.
Well, oddly enough, we have picked people up in the middle, where the state park there's people that have
It's stranded.
got paddled down there and can't get back.
No,
like kayaks.
If you're clever,
rescued people.
That's where we know each other from.
If you're clever, you would take your car
it's the same
down
cars.
to where you want to end. Because like I say, I actually have it on my phone where I can get down in 20 minutes and it'd be 50 minutes to get back.
Oh, absolutely.
It's that tough in that
it affects
canal.
us the same way.
I'm sure.
And we look at that stuff when we're, planning our departure times and return times. I know that if I've got a following tide, I'm going to be able to make it down to the Grove Park dock in 30 minutes as opposed to 45 or 40.
Yeah.
And vice versa coming back. So, we actually try to look at all that stuff.
Sure. A lot of variables to take in play in that regard. So say, that's a great picture. What are the biggest tours that you guys do? Again, I know the answers to this. What are the most popular ones that you guys do?
Probably the sunset trips are the most popular for sure. Yeah, without a doubt. Those consistently typically sell out every single night. And we kind of mix it up a little bit. So we have a Delaware Bay sunset trip that operates out of the Anglers Road dock. So you get a portion of the canal, get to see a little bit of the Broadkill River as we turn out into the inlet. And then we go out around the lighthouses and then come back into Lewes in the canal just at dark, which is just amazing. I mean, the light show that you see with all the houses.
Well, you guys always put up such amazing pictures. Like I feel like it's kind of like I cycle most days and I go on the trail and I take, it's like, damn, I could stop every day and take a picture. Even though it's the same picture, I always say I could always take those pictures. It must be the same for you guys. Like, you must see some unbelievable sunsets and picture opportunities.
100%. It's funny, when I started the business, my wife, knowing me better than anybody else in this world, she's like, I'll give it one summer and you'll be bored and you'll get on to something else. And I was like, no, we'll see. But what I started to figure out that, a risk of being corny, sunsets are like snowflakes. There's never two alike.
Yeah.
And even if they were alike, I've got anywhere from 25 to 100 people on that boat that are different every single night. And I'm a people guy. I like to meet people. I like to tell them about this place.
Yeah.
That I call my home. My kids were born here.
Yeah.
And it's different every single time. Even if everything was the same, the dolphins were the same, the lighthouse, which they're not. The people are different every day, and it's such a cool experience. And back to the question you asked me a little while ago, why, what's the root behind the success? It's our people. Just, they absolutely love what they do. They, we're all kind of united in this common bond of the water and boats. And if we're having fun, the people running the operation are having a blast. I'm having as much fun as you guys are. I'm getting paid to run a boat and look at dolphins and sunsets, and I'm where I like to be. you can't help but have a good time.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's come from, to be honest with you.
It's so funny. We meet so many people, and we always say, Shell Brothers, our mission of happiness, and part of that is our own happiness, but also our happiness of the people that we build homes for, and just that whole philosophy. And all the people that we've asked on the show, and I could say, they all have that same. That same philosophy in terms of we just had someone else who just said they love what they do. They wake up in the morning, like we always say it, right? I'm sure not everybody loves going to work, and I know you guys and the people who work for you love going to work. And we love going to work,
Right.
and but it's not a normal thing, and we're lucky we live where we live. And we're able to feel that way.
Well, that's the irony. That's literally why we started this, right? Is we have a company culture that we live by, and it's top down, and again, enjoying what we do. And then it's not limited to Shell Brothers, right? But sometimes it does feel like it's limited to this area. Like when we talk about we live in a bubble.
A bubble, yeah.
We live in a bubble, right? Yeah. And the people that come here, they stay here, right? And they come here and they fall in love with the area, they fall in love with the beach, and there's a ton to explore, which obviously you are helping people explore, what makes this area beautiful. That's cool. Yeah.
But it's funny because it's almost like we've sat you down and said, you need to say these things. We have had Scott Cameron on, we've had Nick Jr. on,
Pronounce his last name. Pronounce Nick Jr.'s last name.
No, anyway. And these local businesses all say the same thing, and it's literally like we've told them to say that, but we've never said a word to them. In fact, we always say to them, don't talk to us before we go online, go live, because the best content might not get filmed, and because we always chat and shoot the stuff. But it's just so funny how this constant theme of the local businessmen we make, these local business owners, have this constant thing of that. It's about the people who make the company. And we're lucky where we are in terms of and being happy at work and being happy to share that with others. And that's literally was one of the reasons. But it's just so amazing how already in this series of podcasts, every local business owner has said the same thing it's about the team we have, about being the family that we are, and about sharing that, that love, the area with them. And it's honestly, it's not mind-boggling, but it does seem like we've scripted everybody.
Well, the funny thing is the irony is if we're doing it, right, if you're invited on the show, right, if you're invited on to hang out with us, is because, and usually how it stems, and you've said this before too, is, it's not always the interaction with the owner of the company or whatever the case may be. It's the interactions we have with their employees. It's the interactions we have. And then when you meet the top, you're like, it all makes sense. It all makes sense that it comes from the top down, because again, the tours, the environment, just the way you're talking about now, just about talking about your employees and enjoying what you do. Like it's the environment, it's the culture.
But also this is not going to speak for Dave, but you are going to see Dave on the tours. Like he has got a big team, but it's not like, again, he's a guy that you won't see. You'll see him around. He's a local guy, and like say many other little things going on and jobs and so on. But this is a local guy that you're going to meet on the tours, as well as in the local area as well. It's not just you don't know this business or the business owner. I think that's one of those one of those constant themes that we see with the people we have on in this local area. I mean, to be fair, you are blessed. I mean, you've got a couple of lighthouses. You've got these dolphins that somehow always appear for you when you want them
fish
to.
Off the side. Come on.
I mean,
come on. He's throwing a fish. Come on.
So, but also. When we talk about how local businesses are in this area, and again, we do talk about the bubble, but we talk about how local businesses work with local business. And you were talking about Dogfish Head, which is it's not a bad local business to know and to know the owner of. Yeah. But we also have a couple of links in that regards, in terms of you help us during our company beach day. And I've done that for a number of years now.
Yeah, I think 5-6 years.
Yeah,
maybe
been that many.
Right?
Yeah.
So every year, we like to party hard.
So is that a day when it comes up, you and your crew are like, yeah, that's a fun day? Or is that a day that comes up and you're like, here we go again? It's
the dewy days. No, we're pretty
Adam's
well.
on the boat this year. Son of a. No special stops. No, Adam.
But no, we go out. We have a company beach day. We take boats out to, where do we go? We go to that
We usually
sandbar.
go to the sandbars over by Massey's.
By Massey's Landing, and we go out there, and then
meeting.
and then we have a meeting there on this sandbar, which is always kind of fairly unique. You don't find many businesses who do that.
How does that feel navigating? Because I mean, I have a boat in that, but taking those boats through that bay.
Well, that's funny. I was trying to think how I was going to answer the last question. Yeah, that day is like, oh yeah, it's Shell Brothers, beach day, and we're excited. Or are we all stressed out? We're usually stressed out. Yeah, because it kind of starts, the week before, because I work directly with Dan to try to make sure everything's right. And I'll come down on Fridays, which usually that Friday is sometime in the middle of July, and it's a nightmare to get down here.
Sure.
I pick up all the coolers, bring them to Lewes, and then we have them on the boat. Or actually, it's a Thursday. I'm sorry, but Dan tries to plan these at low tide, so you guys have a sandbar that we can actually pull up to and have your meeting on. But low tide, as we all know from around here, is not fun. Rehoboth Bay or Indian River or the canal, so it can be a little stressful. Yeah, absolutely. I typically
I never knew it. I never saw one of the staff members and thought it looked like it was a stressful day.
You've never seen it on our
No, well, you can't sweat. We
do this all day long. Yeah. No, but I usually call Clark from Towboats US and have him on standby just in case, because there was actually one year we did get stuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were. I think we came in on, the timing was a little bit off. It's just how it worked. And the tide was running out while we were up, so the water was slowly retreating as we were pushed up onto the sandbar, and it was 2019, I think it was, because I remember the boat. But when we kept pulling the boats out as the tide went out, so we're trying to chase it out, but we got a little behind on one of the boats, and it took us about good 15, 20 minutes to get her loose. But we got her loose.
Yeah.
We had to move some people around.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about Shell Brothers. You guys are all huge. You're big guys. You guys all were like
I'd say it's all construction. It's all construction
right now. I'm looking for something over there. Actually, I think I just cramped.
I just get 15 of the giant Shell Brother guys. Can you move? Usually that fixes the problem.
There we go.
No, it's a fun day for us though, because it's a challenge. It is a challenge to pull that trip off, and we're very good friends with the owners of Paradise. They've been a big part of my success over the years, and so it's cool to get out there and see all them, and bring that vibe.
Sure.
Just comes rolling in on these two big boats, and it's a blast.
That's cool.
It's stressful till I get in it, and then I want to, then I'm like,
right.
We're doing this.
Yeah.
It's too late.
And then I have a link, a few links with yourselves, with the company and yourself, in terms of a number of years I've been working with you guys to give experience to our homeowners.
Absolutely.
Which for me has always been huge, in terms of I want to make sure. Me and Frank love talking about the lifestyle of living at the beach. Obviously, when people come here from outside, they don't always know where to go or what to do in that regards. And like I say, I always think on top of the bucket list, easily around the top of that bucket list, you guys are out there, because that experience going out to the lighthouses and the sunset tours. Everybody who lives in this area should do it at least once.
Oh yeah.
But should do it numerous times. And I'm like I say, I'm lucky enough that
Lots of times.
Yeah, lots of times. Twice a week.
I'm lucky enough I've given a lot of my homeowners that opportunity, but also I've had private trips on your boat. A friend of mine had a Halloween party out there where we all dressed up. I always remember because I was struggling for a costume, and I just got one of those Hungry Hippo onesies.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't put a whole costume together.
Part of your talk. was that the year that Brad came as a Chippendale stripper?
Yes. Yes.
By the way, I'm still in counseling. witnessing that show he put on.
Let me tell you, my buddy Brad Sutcliffe, I'll even give you a shout out. He has got some outfits. Like he honestly,
I love that guy.
He is honestly. I always say about guys in general. I don't mean to get off topic, but there's people who are planners. Who create events to get the guys together. We actually have one this Thursday, and there's the rest of us who don't. Right, we need those people like the Brads in the world. Otherwise, guys, I think it's different for ladies, I feel. But for guys, organizing anything, it's extremely difficult, let alone a trip with our other halves on a boat, going in costume, and then rolling into Irish Eyes afterwards. And then I've also, and I say, well, this is going to talk about your new venture. But I've also used you privately, and I had very lucky with one of our other guests who we've had on, Paul Cullen, of using one of the boats and Paul and taking out and going to the lighthouse and cooking and music. And, I had a, very lucky that, like I said, we had that relationship and was able to pull that off, and unbelievable experience. And that's kind of why I have that love for you and your company in terms of, like I say, it is just, I always think we talk about being lucky to live where we live, and when you're out on that boat looking into Lewes also, but also with the lighthouses and everything around us, it truly is something to remember, and a memory that I want to give to other people in that sense. But talk to us about your new venture.
Yeah, so we have just added another boat. It is a 44-foot Aquila catamaran. It's a kind of a
different from your normal boats.
Oh, a lot different. Yeah, totally. Yeah, 1000%. Yeah. This is like a luxury yacht.
Yeah.
Okay.
Part. And so what we'd like to do with this boat is be able to offer experiences, kind of like that one you were talking about. And I still remember that night.
That was an unbelievable night.
That was magic.
Yeah.
I mean, that was absolute magic with the sunset and the food and the music and the wine. And not that I was drinking the wine. I wasn't. But we'd like to offer something along those lines. So what we're able to do with this boat, since it's actually a foreign built vessel, and there's really old laws, maritime laws in the United States that protect U.S. shipbuilders from foreign boat builders. So I'm only able to do either 6 people on the boat, which I would actually supply you a captain, one of our captains, whether it be me or my daughter or Maddie or whoever. Or we're actually able to rent you the boat as what's called a bareboat rental. And you can take you and 12 of your best buddies or your friends and wives and whatnot. And we will have certain requirements for that. You will need to have a master captain.
I was going to say, you don't want to give me your boat.
No, you don't.
No.
Good stories there too.
So what else?
It's a big boat. It's a long boat. So you're going to want somebody that knows how to run this boat. And if you don't know any captains, I know some captains.
Well, funny enough, if I do it, maybe I'll just get Chris Shell, because I think he just got his master captain. So
you know
he just come and do it for me.
I think did Tim get his too?
Yeah. I think him and Josh Grabsky as well, and they all went and got it done in that regard. So we do know some. We do know some people.
I actually, Josh, I would trust Josh 100%.
Yeah.
I've seen him handle
Tim, probably not so much.
Yeah,
but
I liked it.
Yeah, but you didn't say it.
Sorry, Tim. Me and Tim go way back. He's good, dude.
And so when's that starting?
Well, we didn't get the boat up here. We had some mechanical issues. Shocker, mechanical issues. And the boat was kind of stuck in Florida until the 3rd week of August. We got it up here, and coincidentally, that's right when we lose a lot of our help, our college students. My son goes back to school, and a couple of our main deckhands, or first mates, go back to school. So the timing just wasn't right, and there was things on the boat that I wasn't happy with that I wanted to get ironed out, because I just wanted to be a seamless, unforgettable experience for people. I don't want to be anything left out.
Sure.
So I'm trying to get all those little things going right now. So I think what I will probably do is offer the boat for seal watching trips, like high-end seal watching. If you want to get 6 people total,
Right.
is what it's called, a 6-pack.
Yeah.
And go out to
That's
the
good.
seals, and you can bring a 6-pack. And I don't know to what degree or level we're going to take it yet, whether we're going to try to offer catering on it, or what we might do is just, like what you did with Paul. I think you kind of contracted Paul.
Yeah.
Then me and Paul worked together to put
Yeah.
the trip together. That'll probably be how it plays out to start.
Okay.
I would like to be able to offer the catering, but
It's another variable.
it's another moving part.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
funny thing is, back in the very beginning, we were offering a lunch cruise that we did through the canals, like a birding eco lunch cruise.
Yeah.
And at first, the food was coming out. It was fantastic. It was really good. But then slowly it started to kind of like not be so good. And then we had somebody leave a review for the food that wasn't really us, and it kind of
Sure.
and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to be
Yeah, if you can't control
pulled
that.
down. Yeah, I
It's not
can't.
mine.
That's one I can't control that. So
Right.
Yeah.
we
Right.
decided, just get your own food. This is who we use and we work with all the time. There's Bethany Blues.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
a lot of the other places, Wheelhouse. They do a great job.
Sure.
Yeah.
All them, they know how to work with us. They know our people. And sorry.
Yeah.
That was probably
No.
knocked
No,
up.
it's funny
But
because
anyway, yeah.
that was what I was going to say. Actually, one of the times I've obviously been on the boat a few times, usually ringing you up late saying I need some spaces. It's typical.
Tomorrow.
But I love it. Like say, past communities that I've been in, like I love, and in the community I live in now, but I built, or sold, sorry. And they still go on trips.
Oh, absolutely.
Community,
Yeah.
and they'll organize themselves, and they really do.
Yeah.
I always feel like
governors, senators,
Yes.
they
Yep.
have their own like social
social
groups
committees.
and
Yep.
committees. And
Yep.
yeah, we probably do 70, 80 of those a season.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And what I
Awesome.
love is it like saying we're talking about the food and whatnot, but you just bring your own. Like it's,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a BYO. It's probably the only BYO.
You say
F.
food. Yeah, that's
Or
right. Starts with an F.
I was going to say BYOB,
Yeah,
right? Bring your own
yeah.
beer in that regards, but it is kind of cool. And I remember one time I went to Big Fish Deli down here. I got a bunch of cheeses. I got some crackers and a bottle of wine. I mean, it's not difficult to do,
Yeah, I know.
but it does when you can crack it all open and whatnot. And then again, with the experience that you guys give, it is a very easy experience in that sense. And so I mean, it doesn't surprise me that, like say, you have so many big groups come along in that regards. And like I say, I know everybody it's a great like potluck kind of
Yep.
experience, which is kind of cool. I always like when everybody's pitching in and doing their bit and bringing it all together in that sense. So yeah,
we enjoy it too, because those bigger groups, it's a lot easier for us to deal with one person who's organizing it as opposed to 50 or 60 or 70 people.
Sure.
So that's kind of, it makes it a little bit easier on us, but they're fantastic. And like you said, I'm blessed, and that has been a huge blessing. And then back to the thing with the gift certificates, that you've been doing that for years now.
yeah. I think back to I think it was prior to Governor. I think it was Coastal. Was it Coastal Club?
It was
Probably
Coastal
Club.
Yeah, I think it was probably about halfway through.
Yeah.
And
I didn't get one.
as a realtor, I understand that whole thing, because being a realtor for 30 years, you give a bottle of wine, you drink the bottle of wine's gone. You don't remember the bottle of wine 3 months later. But something cool like that, you give them a sunset cruise and they see a dolphin jump out of the water in front of a lighthouse. They're going to remember that.
Yeah.
That's
Building new memories at the beach. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's such a cool gift. And like, I give trips out to my real estate clients.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
You copied me.
It's a great idea.
Why didn't I think of that?
It's better. It costs you nothing. So,
But it is, again, we spoke about how like you go once, and I know of it, like say Governors. I'm pretty sure Coastal Club, but I know they do it every year, at least once.
oh yeah.
And I know that everybody will always look forward to going and doing it again. And like I say, it's just it's now become, I feel like it's one of those experiences, as I said at the beginning, that if you come to this area, you have to do.
Yeah.
And once you've done it, and I have like friends, and I always think about it. And actually, I did contact you recently about it. I just couldn't marry up the sunset with getting into agave with enough time. You know, it's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Summertime.
Yeah, it's really tough. Yeah. But I had some friends coming down from Philadelphia.
Gave some plugs.
I was like,
Give some plugs.
what can I do with these guys? Like, I know what I can do with these guys. I'm gonna ring up Dave
because they're visiting tomorrow.
I just couldn't match up. I couldn't match up the agave restaurant reservation and then getting you guys and getting off and making it. It was just going to be too much. But I tell you what, it is, you know, like I said, as I said, if there was if I was doing a checklist of like bucket list items, and I do this often, you know, the Cape Water tours is top of my list.
I just picture you dressed up, jogging down the streets of Lewes with your friends. Oh, come on!
Yeah.
Come on, we got 20 minutes left.
Can't be late. Yeah. Well, and I'm sure Dave knows, and you might know, and you know, Lewes is not a late night town.
No.
You know, there's only a couple of spots. It's probably a good talking point in the segment. It really isn't a late night town, and like I said, there is only a couple of spots where you can get late night drinks. And so, like I said, especially if you want to eat, like you gotta make it. Because 9 o'clock is lights go off,
turning the street lights off, roll the sidewalks up. Party's over, man.
So what else is on the horizon for you guys?
We're kind of taking this thing about as far as we can take it with the boats that we have.
Yeah.
So now we're really starting to focus on honing in on what people really want. Start, for lack of a better word, trimming some of the fat, some of the trips that don't always sell out.
Yeah.
We're also looking into potentially having 2 new boats built.
Oh, wow.
That will be purpose built for what we do. We've always made do with the boats that we've had, and I'm constantly trying to upgrade them and improve them, and better sound system, better lighting. But unfortunately, you get a little pigeonholed in with these boats because they are inspected by the Coast Guard, and they have seating plans that go through naval engineer or naval architect. They're reviewed for their stability, and like literally, I take a chair off the boat and put a different chair on. I have to tell somebody about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pretty rigorous.
So it's nuts what they make you go through. So our goal is to try to come up with a deck plan that will meet the needs of our private charter guests and groups, but also be versatile enough that we can do regular like eco tours, birding tours, the lighthouse tours and stuff like that without. I basically have 3 boats that I need to do the trips that I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I can get purpose-built boats that are designed by me and my naval engineer, I think I can drop down to 2 and then hopefully start to make the business, trim the fat, make it a little more profitable.
Yeah.
And
now, do you have a link with the lighthouse? I thought, why did I feel like there was a
actually,
tell us about that.
Yeah, so the East End Lighthouse, we have a lease with the state of Delaware through their historical division, and we've kind of unofficially become the caretakers of the lighthouse. We keep it clean and we keep an eye on it when there's things that are damaged or whatever. If I'm able to fix it and stay within not changing the historical value of anything, we'll typically try to repair it. If it's above that, it typically has to go to the state, and they'll have to examine it and say, yeah, you can do this or do that, or no, we're going to bring a contractor in. So yeah. So we've had a lease with them. So we have sole use of that lighthouse.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
how did that come about? Like what's the
that was a funny situation. It was 2015. I don't know if do you remember the what the heck was it? The jump off the ferry swim thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
the Iron Man? It was like a
kind of sort of,
kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I was just wearing the guy gave me a shirt. I still have it. I was wearing it the other day.
Yeah, it was kind of unusual, right? Because most triathlons, you just dive into the
you
water
run off
from the beach,
and you swim,
and then you swim and you
yeah.
get out and you cycle and then run.
This you got on the ferry,
You
and
got-
they were going to take him out. I think past out by the East End.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the number 3 mark out there on the wall. I was over there meeting with that gentleman, trying to figure out how to set the race course up because I helped him. I was going to be one of the rescue boats and spotter boats and all that, and I helped him set up everything. But one of the guys from the state was there, a gentleman by the name of Tim Slavin, who I'd been introduced to by Nikki Fisher, who used to be one of the big higher ups at the ferry terminal, and also Heath, who currently runs the ferry over in that area. And I just asked him, I was like, hey, what's going on with the East End Lighthouse over there? He's like, nothing. I was like, can I take people in and do tours? He's like, sure. It was literally that, but then the work began.
Yeah.
You know,
Easy on the front.
logistics and insurance and all that stuff. But we've got a great relationship with the state.
That's also
Very cool.
Yeah, we take them out there for annual inspections, and we work directly with their contractors to get them out and back when it's needed. And it's just been a fantastic relationship, and they're just so awesome to work with. Just nice people, really nice people.
And I think, like I say, coming from England and whatnot, I actually have a love of lighthouses, and I'm like I say, because of we have the 2 that we have, and I've been in it myself with you and gone to the top and taken pictures. And
is that an English thing? Love of lighthouses, or is that just a you thing?
no, I don't think we. I don't think so. No. But let me tell you, I've read.
Prefixed it with you coming over. I was just curious if that was.
Well, I don't think I remember seeing lighthouses in England. I know there are some in that regards because we're an island, but I don't remember. I mean, as I said, I didn't live at the beach in that regards, and so coming over here, I've actually read a lot of. Actually, you won't believe this. I've actually read a whole book about lighthouse history. Someone gave it to me. Yeah, it's
For this area.
For no, it was in
In
general.
general.
Yeah. In terms of how it has escalated and in terms of the technology. Even I mean, it's an unbelievable story. And then you see these like Facebook stories where you can go and live in one in France and get paid $1 million.
Well, there's one in Connecticut that is like a bed and breakfast.
I've seen that too when they've renovated it.
Connecticut or New York or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, but I mean, what a cool
kind of cool.
experience.
Yeah.
Experience.
I would like to do that.
Yeah.
I love lighthouses. I don't know why. Yeah.
There's something very, I don't know. There's something very, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I also have a love for lighthouse. I've even read a book about it. That takes a lot.
Top 5. For Adam to read a book about something.
I think they're awesome. I think they're awesome.
I'm a book reader myself, but I actually have read a lot of history books about the area because I'm one of the narrators. But that East End Lighthouse, there's just something magical about that particular lighthouse. I mean, I don't know if it's the color or where it is. You know, I'm sitting here looking at the picture on the screen.
Yeah. I mean, I have thousands of pictures. I'm sure you do too.
Oh my God.
Like you cannot be a local and not have, whether someone's, kayaking out there, whether you guys are getting a picture out there from the suns, like it is such a local landmark.
It's got to be one of the most photographed places in Delaware. It's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it in magazines. I see it on people's walls. You know, in the doctor's office, it's up on the wall. It's, oil painting. And,
I mean, I always say that around here, you cannot not be or try and be a photographer because there's so many places to take great pictures. Like, I think I can go out there and I can feel like I'm a real, like, you can get really good pictures with these guys. And you can come out thinking like, I can take pictures. Yeah. I can take pictures for sure. And then I go and buy, Susan's pictures. Or,
Susan and Kim and Stephanie. Yeah.
Stephanie Forrest. Actually, I use Stephanie a lot. Yeah. I must say, in like social media pictures of the local area when I'm in Lewes communities, like, or just in the area actually, in terms of I use a lot of her pictures. They do tremendous.
We actually invite Susan Bristow, Kim Johnson, and Stephanie Faust, and used to Kevin Fleming. We would invite, and I still do. I invite them on the boats for free trips. Because the photos that we could take pretty good pictures with our iPhone.
Right.
Those 3 ladies, are going to kill it, and they've always been super, super gracious and have shared,
Yeah.
you know, their photos on our social media, which is.
Oh, so they're not your pictures. Oh, I was giving you all the credit.
Hey,
Now, a lot of them are.
take,
but,
take that credit, buddy.
yeah, there might be 2 or that are.
Those guys are awesome. They really are. And like
rock stars in that industry.
unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable. And then what is the? I'm sure you. I don't want to give away the whole tour in that sense of, but you know, in terms of around those lighthouses and like ships that have sunk around that. I mean, what it like? How much? I know there is a huge amount of history. I don't want you to tell us all of it in that sense, but you know, tell us a little bit about the waters in that area and the history it's had.
Yeah, so that
You can leave out the British part. I don't have to hear about any British ships that
you
have
don't want to
sunk.
hear about the blockade of Lewis or anything. No?
I'm looking for buried treasure.
Yeah, me too. When I find it, I'll give you the first.
I'm sure. Pictures on the website.
A lot of people don't understand how rich the history is here. You know, whether it is, you know, they're just not history buffs or
Right.
they're not from here or whatever, but there is a extremely rich maritime history in this area. I mean, Lewis was the first town in the first state, and this was one of the first stopping places when England was colonizing the New World or you know, the Americas. But the tough thing is we don't have a natural safe harbor here. If you think about it, the only thing that we have is the Lewes Rehoboth Canal.
Yeah.
Indian River didn't exist, and
Yeah.
not even if it did, it's not like you were going to get through there with a larger ship or anything.
Right.
So, the fact that they were able to design and build that breakwater in the early 1800s, and that's what it's for. That's its purpose, was to create a safe harbor for ships to hide behind during bad weather. The fact that they were able to pull that off back in those days.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, you know, you build houses or you're involved with the building of the homes. You know what goes into it. Imagine building that thing with no outboard motors, no diesel engines, no cranes, no dump trucks, none of that stuff. It was mind blowing. But the history that's around there is it's incredible. And you're right. It's a lot to get into. But the best way to hear about the maritime history of Delaware, or at least the Lewis area anyway, come out on our lighthouse tours. We actually cover from the Dutch and the local Native American tribe that was here, the Cincanese, all the way up to current day. And it, you know, it's an abbreviated, but you get a lot of really cool information in there. Yeah. One of the other interesting things about that lighthouse is the fact that it was a manned lighthouse. It was actually oil fired back in the day by 2 to 3 keepers, but there was actually a death in that lighthouse. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, and it's not anything. You really can't just go like Google it and find it. You might find it, but I doubt it. It took me a lot of years to get the full story, and with the help of Lewis Historical Society, and to get this story honed in. But yeah, there was a gentleman that died in the kitchen in 1892. He was a sailmaster aboard the sailing vessel Mary Rogers that ran aground in January. It was during a storm. So it's said that his spirit haunts the lighthouse. Which kind of makes it a little even more interesting when people go in it, because we usually don't tell them that until after. After they come out. But that's one of the really kind of interesting stories. And just the fact that, I mean, think about how many ships and people that lighthouse guided into Delaware Bay that ultimately ended up in Wilmington or Philadelphia. I mean, this was, you know, one of the major gateways for people coming from Europe for many, many years. So it's an incredible piece of living history that's out there.
Well, like I say,
Very cool.
always very, very blessed in terms of where we live, and we're like I say, very thankful that you started Cape Water Tours, because it does highlight a lot a lot of elements of where we live, not just the history, but also the beauty, which is awesome. All right, you got anything else? I've always got my quick fire.
No, we can do the quick
Because this guy's like, he's not quite a local, he's not BB born, as we would say, but he knows
today.
He knows
BB born today. That was his.
No, I have heard that term. I've heard that.
You've
BB
heard
born.
it, but you've never used it.
No, I know I have. No, I've never used it, but I know of it. It's a thing that locals
But
use.
you're also not it. Like,
Huh?
you're also not. Isn't it like born and raised here?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. No. I'm saying it. People who are BB born, they are seen, or they see themselves as a separate
native
breed, or in that regards. They do see themselves as the true locals of the area. I say I'm a local, just with a twang. But, like I say, but this guy knows. Like this guy, Dave knows a lot of people. Like I say, I know that he knows a lot of people. I know he's not BB born. But we don't hold that against you.
My wife's family is massive. I mean, I married into a really big Lewis family. Yeah.
You want to? There's plenty to drink behind you if you want.
Is that
Is that?
Nice.
So, but
did you want to talk about? So you were up. You said we're pretty big.
Oh, yeah, I
deal,
forgot
the
to-
entrepreneurship.
yeah,
Of course you did.
Yeah,
of
and
course
sorry,
you did.
sorry, I always get lost in the lighthouse.
And we could play this, and we could talk about. You could say a little bit about what was going on here and what this is about. But it's a pretty big deal. So go ahead, tell us what this is. What we're watching here.
Yeah. So I'm sure most people have heard of Entrepreneur Magazine. So they reached out, told us we were nominated for favorite mom and pop business of the country. I had never even heard of it. But I started doing some research, and Michelle and our general manager, Kelly, looked into it, and it seemed legit. They wanted to come down and do a story on us.
Nice.
And they threw out some dates in the summer, and I'm like, guys, like summer. Yeah.
Good luck.
Like if at all possible, if we could do it in the fall, that would, because I can breathe. I got some breathing room.
Yeah.
So we set a date, and we were going to actually take one of the boats, the Discovery, out to the lighthouse with their crew. There was 8 or 9, 10 of them. I can't even remember. Really nice people. Of course, the day we're going to do it, there's a nor'easter blowing. And we got 30 to 40 mile an hour sustained winds with gusts over 50.
Always the case.
No way that we were getting out on that bay. So we had to drop back and do the shoot at our house. And basically the show or whatever, however you want to describe it, is I guess maybe kind of an inspirational thing for other entrepreneurs,
Nice.
or maybe people that are thinking about, jumping off the cliff, as he says in this, to become
start
your own
something,
business or your own boss. And we actually went and watched a bunch of the other segments. Not before, though. We didn't want to watch any of them before because I didn't want to mess myself up. So we watched them after the fact. But it was just an amazing experience. I mean,
That's cool.
The people were so nice. And the host, he just asked a lot of questions. Like probably a third of the questions he asked me actually made the segment. But a lot of the questions he asked me were like thought provoking and got me really thinking about stuff.
Yeah.
And, so I kind of got something out of it.
Right.
More than just, the publicity side of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, unbeknownst to us, there was actually some sort of social media voting thing going on. And we, like every week they would release, we went up against a toy shop somewhere in the Midwest, and then we went up against a taco place in Utah, and it seemed like we were shoo-in. We were gonna make like the top 2 or top 3, but then we met our match. It was a cheesecake factory or something out in the Midwest.
Cheesecake
They
is tough.
destroyed us. Good for them. Good.
Yeah.
But anyway, we placed in the top 4.
That's amazing.
awesome.
In the nation.
In the nation.
Not like a local, not Delaware or Suffolk County. This is like, it's a massive deal.
It was it was an honor.
And it was not something you like reached out or submitted for. They came to you.
Yeah, they came to us.
Which I always think is like we spoke about it with Chris when we were the national home builder for 2023. Like it wasn't something we reached out and like signed up for, paid a fee to join or blah 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 blah. Like they came to us, and I think that's like the best awards to get, right? The most
that just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I think? Looking back now, I think it was somebody that rides with us that nominated us. I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it started.
Even better.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Water up there.
What do you think you learned as a kid growing up, seeing all that, seeing people say, this is crazy, and your dad just saying, we're gonna make this work?
I learned that when you take a risk, but also bring the people that you love into it, it can get you so much further. It just grows into something more than we could have ever imagined. So it was really inspiring for me as a kid, and it was really empowering for me to know that I could do anything with the right support system.
Tell me more about what that means for you.
As a woman, it's really easy to fall into the self-doubt and the negative self-talk. So I have to keep proving myself, not to everyone else, but also to myself every single day. And that's what
you know what I always think about. We're just talking about we've talked about this before. Around this area, there's not too many things, like too many industries that you really can get into. Your real estate obviously was one of them, and construction's another. But in like say hospitality, restaurants, hotels, and in that whole broad thing. But there's really not that many. And like I say, this is a new industry that's brought into this area.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. If you think back about it, it was probably the first industry. It was the first, kind of thing that came here. People came here by boats.
Yeah.
It was, obviously not geared towards tourism, but towards fishing and whaling and stuff like that. But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's tough around here for young people.
And now
you got retail sales. Restaurants. There's not much in between if you don't have any background in anything. So it was just absolutely amazing that my daughter has been able to work her way up, and she wasn't handed anything either. She had to work her way up because you don't get handed a captain's license. You got to earn it. You got to serve the time and put the hours in and get the experience.
Crazy story, which I was going to tell you actually was that I was actually sent in a community that we on the beach opposite Dairy Queen, and one of the guys who was actually was one of the people who, he reached out to me. He reached out to me and said, I did my license with his daughter. And then like they had a big party at his house or something. I can't remember what the full story was. And I was like, well, I know Dave. And
really nice guy, Justin. We stay in touch. We actually became friends.
I was close. Didn't quite make it. He didn't quite make the jump with me. Per se. But it was just crazy again, like Sussex County, like the small world of like, I know Dave's daughter.
Funny thing is, the reason he came here was me and Leah, because we got talking. He's like, "Where are you guys from? What do you do?" And we start, Leah obviously was telling him about our business and everything, and he's originally from Pennsylvania. He lives down in Palm City, I believe, down in Florida now, and he's like, I'm thinking about coming up for the summer, maybe a place to retire. I was like, dude, you got to look at Lewes, man. Lewes is just off the charts. And beautiful. It's very water. This guy's a big boater, and so we were supposed to hook up this past summer, but it just never happened for one reason or another. So I think me and Leah might be a little of the reason why he ended up snooping around.
He was close. It was really close. And like I say, had some links already and whatnot. I didn't want to forget that story because I was like, that's kind of crazy how. As we would say, very Sussex County in terms of knowing someone or always a guy from out of the blue is like telling me stories about anyway.
Well, you saying that kind of ties back into Leah a little bit with her. Where they met was at the Chapman School of Seamanship. Most of them, like Captain Maddie, she worked her way up through the ranks, and all of my captains have for the most part. There's been a couple of actually. I think everybody that works for me now has gotten their license through our company, like with Sea Time that they brought with them.
Yeah.
But getting the commercial and the tonnage experience on our vessels. But Leah, I wasn't going to let do that. I wanted her to take it further. So she actually went to Chapman and did their, I think it was 9 or 10 weeks or 11 weeks or something like that. And she got her STCW designation. So technically her license is bigger than mine, or she's more qualified than me.
That's great.
And she, because I wanted her to steer maybe towards the yachting industry and stuff like that, running bigger boats. But yeah, it's man, what a journey.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I do have a few quick fire questions because, like I said, we were going to get onto that in terms of you are a local chap, and I do these like very. What is your number one date night spot with the wife?
Number one date.
Where would you? Where are you going to go?
Depends on the time of the year.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. Well, give us for the time of the year.
Okay. So summertime, what we like to do is I have a one wheel. I don't know if you're familiar with those. The motorized skateboard.
Yeah.
And my wife has a scooter. So we like to run over to the ferry terminal and hit grain and maybe have an appetizer and a cocktail there. And then we'll actually take our one wheel and scooter and sneak back into town, and usually wherever we can get in the door.
Yeah.
That's where we end up. But a lot of times we'll go over to the wheelhouse and sit out on the deck or, check agave. You can never go wrong there.
Off season then? What about the off season?
Off season?
When you're not on your one wheel.
Right. I think she'd probably have a different one, but I love Chesapeake and Maine.
Okay.
I love going there on Sundays. It's lobster night.
Yep.
A whole lobster, and I like their beer. I'm very familiar with their beer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy that. And then the other cool date night thing that we do is we'll actually take one of the boats out.
Very cool.
Now that we have the big boat that we were talking about, the yacht. Her name is Mojo.
Nice.
And so we can actually take that out and do our own little sunset cruise on our own. So yeah.
All right, then outside on the water, not non-water. It has to be a non-water place. Where would you go in terms of like a not necessarily like for a date night per se, but where else is there like a hot spot for you to go inland that you like to go with like friends or family? Like, what could you give me?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Your first two answers weren't good
Yeah,
enough
because
for Adam.
grain is on the water. Your boat is on the water.
You're not allowed to like the water.
Yeah.
Your whole industry.
Where else would you go?
Yeah, everything I do is on the water.
I got, yeah.
I'm trying to think where I would go. Jeez, that's a tough one, man.
Sorry.
Another winter place that we go.
Yeah.
Because we live out off of Camp Arrowhead.
Okay. Yeah.
Out in that neck of the woods.
That's where me and Frank first worked together.
That's true.
We're at right on Camp Marsh Island.
Yeah. No.
Villages of Herring Creek.
Even
Villages of Herring
way
Creek.
before
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Villages
Way
of Herring Creek and Bayfront, Rehoboth.
Rehoboth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go on, carry on.
Brickworks.
Oh, yeah,
Pub.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you seeing a theme here with the beer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a beer snob or a beer.
There you go.
Or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. I like beer.
Do you collect it? Do you like have a beer fridge? Like, do you like?
No.
No. You just drink it.
No.
Well,
Yeah. It
doesn't last, right? Doesn't last.
But I did for years. I used to brew and.
Oh.
I actually helped Sam brew actually everybody helped Sam brew Dogfish Head back in the beginning because we had a half barrel system. We brewed one keg at a time. So we were brewing like 24/7 in there. So everybody had to help. But yeah, I'm a beer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, but
Good to know.
it's pretty good. Pretty solid food and decent beer list.
Top event at the beach, like we have a number of events that go on throughout the year. What would be your favorite event at the beach? What goes on?
Yeah, I'd have to go back a few years. Pumpkin chunking's not a thing anymore. That was always a blast. I always enjoyed that. Sea Witch.
Yep.
Love Sea Witch. And I like the whole Lewes 4th of July thing.
Yes, that's a good thing.
With 2nd Street, we used to take the kids down there
For the games.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for the
Yep.
games, and it and you know, with the boat parade up and down the canal. Here we go again. One,
Yeah. Oh, it's one trick, guys. One note. Adam.
No, the boat parade is very cool. I always
The whole scene, like 4th of July down in Lewes, is just a blast. You know, it's kind of, you know, makes you, not that I'm 59 years old, but you know, I can remember when I was a kid and you know, Summers Point or in Linwood, Northfield, Margate, where you know, small towns. Part. You know, everybody knew each other.
Yeah.
So it still gets that feel.
Yeah.
There's, you know, 10,000 people there, but you know, you still run into 20, 30 people that you know, and you know, that's a blast.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Dave, thank you so much for coming on and giving us your time. I know it's like hard to grab you, and so I'm glad that you came on, shared about the company, about Cape Water Tours, and like I say again, I can't push it enough. I feel like I should be part of the company actually, but I do.
We're
I
hiring.
do. Again, you don't want me.
It's not what he had in mind. It's not what he had in mind.
I will tell again, like you say, like non-house, and nothing about houses, nothing, but this area. You come and live here, and lots of people do every year, or you come to visit during the summer. You should definitely put on your hit list, your bucket list. Sorry. To go on one of the Cape Water Tours, because it is a phenomenal experience.
Cheers, absolutely. Thank you again for being here.
Thank
Cheers
you, sir.
to you.
Appreciate
Pleasure,
it,
guys. Thank
Cheers.
you so much for
Cheers.
having me.